anymore.
Mind Matters, the weekly check-in with Bill Bekunda on Stream UG Radio. Your life, your music.
Welcome back to Mind Matters today on Stream UG Radio. You can always reach us on WhatsApp, +256 767 864 228. You have our Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and X at Stream UG Radio. Small caps. www.streamugradio.com, or you can find us on live.streamugradio.com. I come to you every Sunday. We do have other programs here at Stream UG Radio. We do have other services that are offered here, like recording music on Notes and Noise, in a Notes and Noise studio. We do have a podcast studio, which is going to be up and running in a very short time. And we do have programs. If you know anybody who has a story that fits in with us, or especially with my show, Mind Matters, which comes to you every Sunday from 10 to 12 p.m., please contact me. You can use the email info@streamugradio.com, or you can contact me directly also on WhatsApp using the number 0782 031 223. So the numbers to use on WhatsApp are +256 767 864 228. That is for Stream UG Radio. And if you want to contact me directly, you can contact me on +256 782 031 223. I'll be mentioning these towards the end, so you can always communicate. I'm seeing some unread messages, which I'll be getting to shortly towards the end, because we do have a lot to cover right here with Xavier.
Thank you.
He's a well-educated man, first-class honors. He's going to do his master's soon. The applications have already gone in, and we are going to continue with this story.
Thank you so much.
Xavier, let me give another recap, because this story is really intriguing. Xavier started drinking at the age of 8 years old. He was drinking Mwenge Bigere, which many of us may know. And for those who don't know, it is a banana juice, which is mixed with yeast for fermentation, and it does give a buzz. Then he graduated to the distilled crude waraji at the age of 10 years old, after which, the drinking increased, but it didn't affect his education so much. It decreased his performance, but he was still able to graduate with an first-class honors degree. He got a good job, he got a car, he was drinking, he got his freedom, living alone, but the drinking escalated to a point where now he started losing everything, and when he lost everything, he decided he wanted to get help. So he took himself into treatment, into NCC, which was in Zambia. It is the same rehabilitation that I went to myself, and I was also there for 3 months. And he came out fine. And for 9 months after that, he was okay. He was in recovery. He was not drinking. Then he got an opportunity to work at a new job, which only lasted 1 week because of their internal conflicts. When he lost that job, the depression was a little bit too much. And he says the day he exited, not because he had done anything wrong, but because of the conflicts that were happening, that same day he was paid off and told to leave is the day he walked back into the bar. That's how far we had reached.
Yeah.
Let's continue.
Thank you, Bill, once again. Thank you, our viewers and listeners. I'm Gobi Francis Xavier, for those who maybe don't know me or those who are listening to us. Now, I've told you I'd lost a job, and now I've drunk. Then I've taken myself to the rehab.
Yes.
After the rehab, I've been sober again, and I've relapsed. And as I've said, the relapse is so bad. Yes. In this period of relapse, this is when I met with people. people like to tell me, or they have always told me, you know, you're a very clever guy. So I meet a group of people who might have known me maybe. Because remember, some people used to come and even my hobbies used to come and meet me and they say, you see how you are wasting your first class degree?
Yes. I mean,
you're just wasting it in the barn. So a team of people now who are now buying for me. We started doing coning. Actually, we started now active coning.
Yes.
And that's how I was earning my living. We conned several people. Several people, some of which actually are very big guys in the government that I cannot mention here.
Definitely.
Yeah. But after conning for a while, it developed, by the way. I started even dealing in selling land. Of which
you became a broker.
Yes, but of which some of the land there was genuine and
fake
corn. Actually, in Luganda, we used to call it the genuine one. For us, we are using our own codes now among the brokers. You would call somebody, or they would call me. They tell me, do you know what? Now, one to go bante. That means it's genuine.
Okay.
For they need a guy who is buying it would not know our codes. But now if it is fake, the guy would call me and tell me, Kanokaweo.
Okay.
So you know now already how to handle it.
Yes.
Maybe for translation for our brothers and sisters who cannot get Luganda. And it is cow.
Yes.
This is a cow. The fellow bloker calls you and tells you, you know what? This deal is for a cow.
Yes.
Then if it's a cow, I think that's a cob.
Okay.
Then you know we are going for cob or antelope.
That is now. Yes.
And I don't know why. Maybe after my drinking, there is that kind of confidence that I used to have. I had a lot of confidence that I could approach. But when I'm drunk, when I've taken something.
When you are sober, how are you?
I'm very, very, very fearful. I could not, get that courage of approaching people or clients.
All right.
But whenever I was drunk, I needed at least some drink to get that confidence of approaching these people. And many occasions they used me to go and cut the deals.
Okay.
And I would go in now as the owner.
Yes.
So
you'd be the owner of the land.
Yes. Now you would play in many ways.
I know,
now sometimes you go as the owner.
Okay.
Yes, because now we never wanted the. But there is one deal that we made and it hit back.
It didn't go out. It didn't happen well.
Yes. I ended up now going to being sentenced to Luzira, where I served for. Luzira was there for 3 days. Then they transferred me to another prison in Kasanda.
So when you went, how did you go there? How did you end up? Okay, how was that deal? You explain.
On the deal, we sold land to somebody. And when we had sold the land, then the Leo owner came over. They found this guy using his land, and they had to.
And they paid you fully?
Yes.
How much money was that?
It was about 20 millions, but we are a group.
But I want to ask, how, because we've heard of Bafere, okay, you say that you needed courage. You'd first drink before you can start doing that.
Yes.
So that means you'd always be drunk as you're making that transaction.
Or you drink, obviously, not to the level of breaking out. You remain with some sense. Yes. For the courage.
For the courage.
Yes. Then after approaching this a client, you pass the deal. Now, after the deal is done and you are paid, that's when you do go again for series of drinking.
So they gave you cash, 20 million.
Yes. Then we go, divide it up.
And you allowed the guy to go and start developing land.
Yes.
Which you knew is fraudulent.
Yes.
How would you sleep at night?
You sleep drunk
so basically the drunkenness would make you feel like it's okay.
Yes.
All right, let's continue.
So, when it hit back, I was sentenced to prison, of which I served my 2 years. However, there I was behaved.
Yes.
And since there was no alcohol, I was very good. Reaching there, I didn't suffer with the prison. They made me the LRP Boma. You become the katikiro. You are the overall leader.
Okay.
So you don't do these other works that other prisoners do. And after my sentence, I came out, but still now catching up with I mean, with a new environment now after prison, it was really hard. And that's where now, I remember I was sober for 18 months.
But first, wait, you went to prison?
Yes. Served.
Wasn't there booze there? We hear that.
No. Actually, there now I was serious because I knew if you don't behave in prison,
okay,
you'll complete the full 2 years.
Okay.
That's 24 months. But if you behave, there is a tendency that now, like for me, I served 18 months, not 24. At least 6 were cut off.
Okay.
Just because I behaved well. And it being that they sneak in. They were sneaking in cigarettes, alcohol, but I had now to behave myself.
Okay. So you never got the urge?
Yes. Obviously, the craving can always come. It could always come. But I knew that if I drink, I remember I'd done the AA for some time, you know?
Yes.
I knew self-knowledge now was there.
Yes.
Self-knowledge was there. But what was lacking is this admission that I'm powerless on myself. Now, in prison, I was doing it myself.
Okay.
Not by the help of the higher power.
Using your will.
Yes. Okay. Now I was using my own will. Self-will, yeah.
Yes.
That's, I think, the right thing, the right term. And when I came out, remember, now there was this misconception of the God power.
Yes.
Thinking that I need to be passive. When it comes to God power, I thought it can happen miraculously and I will be passive myself. There is no part that I need to pray.
Yes.
It will just come and I'll start feeling that I don't need alcohol. You understand, eh? So when I got out,
after 2 years, after 1.5 years.
Yes, 18 months. I felt uncomfortable in the community. So I went now for prayers at Pastor Tom's church.
That is in Mutundu.
Yes, I camped there also for 4 months.
Because you were serious, you didn't want to drink again.
Yes.
Okay.
Never wanted to drink again. Now, after some time, I can't remember what happened, but it was like I was stabilizing. Yes, I got a job with a security company, which is called, by then it was called Dillard Security Group. It was owned by an American and a Ghanaian lady. They were the directors of this company. And one day I went to the office. We had misunderstanding with the accountant.
Okay.
And going to the director's office, he had a bottle of whiskey. Remember, this guy was an American.
Yes.
And you can't imagine. When I looked at this bottle of whiskey, the craving was too much on me.
But now, you know, there are cravings, because I want people to understand this.
Yes.
You had been in jail.
Yes.
When you are in jail, you had sworn to yourself, I think, that
yes, I'll
never drink again. So there is that experience.
Yes.
You have been through the first phase of not drinking.
Yes.
You understood AA.
Yes.
So how is it that you look at a bottle and you get cravings?
Bill, this is a sickness of an obsession of the mind.
Yes.
Of the brain. My brain is obsessed.
Yes.
And on my willpower, I've told you, it is limited.
Yes.
Yeah. It is. I have finite willpower.
Okay.
So I needed now the infinite.
All right.
And that's now what was lacking in me. And in order to pursue this infinite, I went for the pastor.
Okay.
Yeah. To be prayed for.
Yes.
And remember, the obsession is the mind. Now I was thinking prayers only could help me overcome my addiction. But it didn't.
Okay.
I had not surrendered my will. For me, I thought the miracle will come upon me.
Yeah, you will
and I move a healed man.
I get it. So you see the whiskey bottle?
Now I see the whiskey bottle. And I have an argument with the accountant because there I was not working for salary.
Yes.
I was getting a retainer.
Okay.
And I think this accountant was failing to pay my retainer. And
they were eating it also.
By then I had got a very big deal for the company. We had secured a deal with the Lida Hotel in Seta. And this was one of the biggest deals that they had got because it was 5 guns security personnel And that meant some good commission.
Yes.
So this guy is not giving me my commission. Now with that scattered mind from the accountant's office, I go to the director's office. The mind is now scattered. And in the director's office, I find a bottle of whisk. And you can't imagine what happened. Direct from there, the offices were in Mutungu. Actually, thank you. I walked direct to Bina. I just got myself about 7.
You are not even thinking of what it would do to you.
What would happen to me?
Okay.
It was like I'm numbing my nerves, but I didn't have them. And this now also drove me to another big relapse, the worst of all that I've ever experienced. And this took me years. Actually, now I didn't even bother going back home. I went to certain ghetto there in industrial. It is called Bajaba.
Okay.
Just behind Fresh Dial there. There is a gate. I don't know if you know it.
Along the railway.
Yeah, you see on the 5th? Yeah. Behind the Fresh Dial itself. Do you see
yes, I
know the warehouses for Lufins?
I know the
yes.
place.
There is a company there called Bajaba for Bajaba millers for wheat and whatever. But there is a. So I stayed in that ghetto.
Does family now know where you are? Where is your wife?
They didn't know. Actually, it's me who had abandoned my family, and even my brothers and sisters didn't know where I was, seriously. I think they thought I died. So I stayed there. Now I got access. I was little. Do you know, I can't even explain the kind of person that I was. I'd sold everything that I'd owned. I had nothing on me. Just left with one shirt, of which this shirt even I wasn't washing it. I just left with one trouser, no shoes, no what. Life was really terrible. But so happened that now, some kind of brain awakening come up. I was like, but this is not the kind of life that I'm supposed to live. Why am I in this life?
So how many years now?
I can't even remember the years.
Okay.
It was really, this is before even coronavirus. Even
before the lockdown.
Yes, even without the lockdown, I was in this kind of life. But after the first lockdown, when they allowed movement, I woke up one day and I walked. I walked from now Bajaba to Mukono, my home village, or to now my ancestral village. That is in Chiganda, Chitenda, where my father used to live. And actually, it's here I want to thank my brother. There is one of my brothers who really worked so hard with me, and my sister who was taking care of me. My sister was the one now giving me, feeding me. But still, even there in the village, I'd gone there and they had accommodated me. But now I was still drinking.
Okay.
I would wake up, do some digging. They had allowed me to do the digging. But again, I would go to the bar. To Walaj now, in the village, basically, Walaj was what was trending. And most of my friends that I was drinking with have died, have passed away due to drinking, serious drinking. It's from there now again I misbehave because of my too much drinking. My brother he had a mass on me and was he wanted me to form. Yes. I remember having very many fights with him. Then he suggested to take me, he's a carpenter, to his carpentry, that I start a carpentry work. I would be sober for some days, do some carpentry work there with him.
When you get money?
When he pays me, the next day I don't appear to work. I go back in the bar. And I was like, actually here now I was like, life had no meaning. Not thinking of my children. I'd abandoned them with the mother now. She's busy struggling with the children. You can just imagine. She was really a very good woman, I know. But life had lost meaning. Yes.
Did you try to commit suicide at one point?
Yes. I've ever tried. But still, I remember something in my mind was like, but even if you commit suicide, you're already dead. I was dead.
You're already dead.
Yes. I was considering myself already dead. Actually, this is when life little had no meaning. A little had, and that's when even my brother got fed up of me. He packed me up. Now he took me to my mother now. Because remember now I was staying at my father's place, not where my mother is. So they took me to my mother, and I also drained her life also. Because
everywhere you go, you are distracted.
Yes. Now
you're a graduate with honors.
Yes. And there, it's around the lake shores. Here I find these fishermen, and they know me. But at least in the society, there are always some good people who will spot. Because of when I was there at my mom's place, at least there is one guy. This one I'll mention because I thank him. He's called Christopher. He's a teacher.
Okay.
And Christopher is a very good friend up to now. So when he saw me, this is around 2021. I went there when it was also campaign time, by the way. And I was supporting some people. Up to now, they have named me names of these people that I supported during that time. Okay. But still, I was doing a lot of drinking. But this guy stood with me. He stood with me. At least he saw the value in me. As I was not seeing it myself, for him, he was seeing it. And one day he came and gave me a testimony. He told me, you know what? Me studying and becoming what I am is because of your story.
Okay.
What I'd heard of you kept me studying. And these words hit me far. What I didn't tell you, even my son, Florian, when he was young, at 3 years, one day I came back home drunk and I heard him praying, God, I pray for my dad to stop drinking. A 3-year child.
Yes.
So those words kept at my heart. And now another person, Christopher, who is a teacher. By then he was a deputy teacher of one primary school, but he's a secondary school teacher. Then he tells me, because of your story, I was able to go to school. So at least I have catchwords. Though I was still in the bar, but these catchwords, my son's prayer, and now Christopher's words, they kept on torturing me. Yes. They were torturing my conscience. It is then I came to these words of this guy, Tupac. He says, death is not the biggest loss in life. But the biggest loss in life is that which dies when you are still alive. Yeah. So these words kept on now piling, coming and torturing me. I kept up also for some time. Actually, even Christopher, being the deputy teacher, took me to the school. That school is a Catholic school. They employed me as a PRO.
Okay.
And because of the responsibility of this position, I stopped drinking for some time. During school time, I wasn't drinking. But I wasn't doing the steps. Okay. I wasn't doing the program.
This is the third round of...
Yes. So I stayed sober for like 9 months. But I can't tell. Sure, I can't tell what happened to me. All of a sudden, I went back and drank.
Let me interject here. You see, some people don't understand that someone is relapsing all the time, and they keep saying, because this is many years over.
Yes.
The first time you went to get help, you went yourself.
Yes.
You even had to do to work.
Yes.
So that you can pay for your
rehabilitation.
In the rehabilitation center.
Yes.
You spent 10 months after that.
Yes.
And you relapsed. Because you genuinely had lost a job.
Yes.
So there was reason, we could say. And it wasn't your fault.
Yeah.
Then the second time you relapsed, you stopped drinking because you had been taken to jail.
Yes.
You had spent 1.5 years in jail.
Yeah.
And you spent another how many? 9 months?
Around 9 months without
drinking because of the motivation of jail.
Yes.
Now this time there was another genuine reason.
Yes.
That you drank because one, you didn't get your cut from the deal, and second, you saw whiskey bottles. So there was a direct trigger. There is depression, there is anxiety. So you walked straight to the bar and drank.
Yeah.
Now the third time, you have spent again another probably 9 to 10 months.
Yes.
And this time even without reason.
Any cause. any cause, any reasonable cause.
Yes.
And this is a job they loved me. Actually, they had given me a certificate of the employee of the year.
Yes. And for no reason, you just went to drink.
Loves. I mean, I just went to drink, and these people, actually, HM and the deputy, they were looking for me. And now remember, with the nature of the responsibility that I held of the PRO, I just felt it over myself that this is great disgrace, not to me only, but even to the school.
Yes.
And I really felt that I needed now to resign. And I remember taking my resignation. I told, because this guy, he's my good friend. Even he came to me and told me, what can we do for you now, Francis?
Yes.
Can we give you maybe some 2 weeks that you
rest?
I told him, do you know what? Let me just resign.
You knew you couldn't manage.
Yes. And those are some of the few moments that I was honest with myself.
Yes.
And I remember now that time, that was around, I got again a very serious disease. I went into coma. When I went to coma, they took me to Mulago. And Mulago, this is when my mom even declared that I was dead, because the doctor told them, you see those computer thing with the waves, eh?
Yes.
When they saw the doctor told them that when you see those waves going below 90, you know that
it's over.
But my mom saw the waves going to 35, 30. She went out and even started calling relatives. This guy is dead. One of my niece who was there in the hospital told me, Uncle, we really saw it at 0.
There's no a straight line.
Yeah. And we knew you were
be laughing.
Yes. But fortunately, by the grace of God, I came back to life. But the doctor told them that even though he has come back to life, because I was, he told them I had brain pressure.
Okay.
And he told them that I will not be able to speak once again. He told them I'll come back either when I've paralyzed, because the doctor had given them options. I'll not come back to life. That was the first option. Then either come back to life, but when I could not speak, I've lost my speech. Or thirdly, I'd become back paralyzed.
Like a vegetable.
Yeah.
Yes.
But thank God.
Okay. You are here.
One of things that was maybe for the first few days, I could not speak. I could not mention words. Actually, my tongue was tied up. And that day when I came back to life, my boss, the HM, was there. And she's called Mel. But when I got back to life, I called her Lillian. And she was it Lillian? I called her a different name. Then she told me, she was testifying to me that, do you know what? It was so terrible for us when you come back to life. I mean, I was so happy because I thought you were a dead body there. And I was waiting for the hour for the doctors to tell us to take our dead body. But now you get back and you see me there. Then I got so much disappointed. You called me over a different name. So it was like, I knew maybe you have lost your mind. And the doctor told them that even though I've come back to life, the report was like, after 2 months, I would die. Because the nature of my sickness was terrible. So, obviously, they were not telling me these reports by there and then.
Yes.
I left the hospital. I went to one of my sisters. I stayed there for some time. Then I went back to my mom, to the village. And now, they start telling me these stories, knowing that I'm going to die in 2 months.
Yes.
And remember, this was October, November. Now December, I was expecting to die in December. So what came to my mind was that why die with the normal? Why die normal? Die abnormal. So I was drinking now. I was drinking to death.
Yes.
I really drank my head off. I remember that in December, on 25th even, they prepared food at home for my Christmas and, you know.
Your last supper.
Now I blacked out. For you understand what blacking out means. Yes. I blacked out on 24th, 25th reached when I'm not, I didn't know what's happening. 26th, I woke up on 27th and they were bringing for me my food for Christmas on 27th. I had not died. So there was something in my mind, but you never know. You never know. You never know now.
Could be today.
But even the other thing that you never know, you might not die.
Yeah,
what I've not told you, I had another friend of mine, one of my big friends also. He passed on, by the way, and he had stood for one of the political positions. And he didn't pass through that. When he was taken to the hospital, the results were showing the same result with me. Yet for him, he was not drinking. He had not drunk at all. So this thing was beating my understanding.
You who is careless.
I have the disease, and this guy, and even the doctor's report was the same, that after 2 months, we would pass on. And for him, it came to pass.
And for you remained.
And I remained. What is funny, most people thought that I would drink after the death of my friend, because he was a very, very big friend of mine.
Yes.
In politics wise, because I'm going to politics, by the way, even this time.
We are going to vote for you.
Mpunge people, I'm coming.
Yes.
So, it was beating my understanding. Why? December I didn't die, and January I didn't die. Now it comes to February. It comes to my mind, maybe the doctor's report is not right.
But you are still drinking now?
Yes, this time I'm still drinking. Actually now, but not these continuous sprees.
Yes.
Drink stop. Get a week of, remember the other programs of AA, writing down all those people we had harmed,
yes,
and becoming willing to make amends. Actually, by then even I wrote books. I have some books that I've written, but I've not published. One is the biblical teaching on alcohol.
Yes.
Then another one was biblical teaching on alcohol. Then I wrote about what you need to know about the matters.
Yes.
Because whenever I could get this time, since I'm doing nothing, I did a lot of writing.
Okay.
Then I wrote my biography during that period.
Okay.
Then I remember it was March 30th. My niece and my mom were planned. I had a friend. This friend, he's called Coleman. He's a pastor. So at least they wanted me to be away from the environment of the village and see maybe the geographical healing, what it can do. They brought me to my friend to stay with him. And when I reached, he started telling me some words. We talked, we shared a lot. But I was also developing the conviction. I got a phone, I was searching for AA. I went to AI. AI gave me now the contact. At first, it gave me a contact of Paul. Then I called Paul. Paul linked me to Lee. Then Lee now was, by then, remember the Christ the King meetings were not there, had been stopped, yes. So Lee linked me again to Paul O. Now we talked with Paul O, and we started these meetings. I'd been sober for some time, because from March, I got my sobriety once again on March 30th.
Was there any particular reason? Was it because of that doctor that you decided to stop again?
Even now, self-awareness, and many are like I've said, the words of my son, the words of Christopher, now even self-evaluation, seeing what I've lost in life.
That's when you stopped?
Yes.
And then you came to stay with your friend?
Yes.
Okay.
I'd lost everything.
Yes.
Actually, I come to this friend of mine when I have only one shirt, and in the trouser that I was in, I don't remember if I had a pair of shoes.
That was rock bottom now.
Oh yes, I had hit the real rock bottom, and I had now to start life once again. But now, but I can't say it was all my effort. It was little by the grace of God.
Yeah, I mean, you survived.
Yeah, obvious. Many times.
Becoming a vegetable.
Yes, many times. It was little by grace of God, and that's why now I get a new sponsor. Because before I had the sponsor who was not also serious. Now I get a sponsor whom I won't mention here. But then we begin a meeting. I remember for the first month we are like 3-2. Then eventually now the fellowship has grown. It is in 40 or 35 sometimes.
Yes.
So like that, I committed myself now to the program, the AA program, doing my step 1. For me, even my understanding of step 1 changed, because step 1 says we are powerless over alcohol and our lives had become unmanageable.
Yes.
For me, I had to change that. knowing that it's not that my life was unmanageable. My life is unmanageable until now.
Yes.
And that's why I came to know that alcohol was not my problem. Alcohol was a solution to my problems.
Yes.
And remember, with that, my philosophical knowledge, knowing that many questions that I have that I don't have answers for.
True.
I have many questions but without answers. And even these questions that you've been asking, but why?
Yes.
Even my relatives were asking, but why? My hobbies, they know me that this guy is very good when it comes to other areas. But why is it when it comes to alcohol you cannot control?
Yes.
They forget that I'm also asking the same question. I was asking, but why? Why did I drink once again? Why did I go back for that second bottle? Now, reading the big book, I've come to know that I cannot manage it on myself. Second step, we admitted that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity.
Sanity, yes.
Then we surrendered our will and our lives over to the care of God. And that's where the miracle happened. When I surrendered completely my will and my life over to the care of God.
Yeah.
Knowing that I'm allergic to alcohol. Alcohol itself is not bad.
Yes.
For some people who can drink it normally.
Yes.
But for me, an alcoholic with my allergic body, I cannot take even that first drink. And that's why even yesterday I was doing a fellowship at EDU, Butabika. I was telling them, with my alcoholic mind, for me, this bottle top is too much.
Too much.
But 100 crates is too little.
Yes.
Because if I start, I've started.
Yeah.
Now what do I need to do? Is to keep away completely, not to test it at all.
Yeah.
And it has helped me. When I did my step 4, you can't imagine, doing the inventory, self-inventory. The day I finished my step 4, I was now doing my step 5 with my sponsor. That's when I received calls for job employment, for job placements, even the job that I'm doing currently. I don't know. Miracles started unfolding. And in December last year, I had a wedding. Now, not working with the first wife. I tried to reconcile with her, but
it was too late.
Yes.
Yeah, some things fall apart.
Yes,
and
then,
cannot be revived.
But I've told her she knows what talk. Even I know she might be, if she has data, she might be listening to me. Because we communicate since she's the mother of my child. Now she knows that I'm married. And even this new wife of mine, now this is a blessed wife. She has not tested on the...
She has not seen what the other previous life was.
Yeah, and I thank God for that. It's really by grace of God that it has happened. And I apologize for my children that the other dad, they know now I'm with them. So they stay with now this new wife of mine. I had to get them from the mother's side. Because they need also time with me. They need to experience me. One funny thing, one day somebody came to, because those people of mine at the village, they wanted me to stand for politics. And my daughter told me, Dad, we are going to the campaign. I know she wants more of my time. And she knows that if I go in politics, not to praise myself, but I feel that commitment for other people.
Yes.
And that's why now, when I've lost that selfishness, I'm willing even to come and share this stall of mine. It can cost me something, but I know it is going to help somebody else.
Exactly.
No matter how much it costs me alone, but if it helps somebody outside there suffering, a parent suffering somebody, at least my soul can help.
Very true.
Thank you.
And so we are experiencing now the rebirth, if we may call it that.
Yeah.
How does it make you feel, and what is motivating you?
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much, Bill. Once again, my worst experience in my sober days is far much better than the best days in my using days.
Using days, yes.
Because now I have the serenity. I'm serene. That calmness. Like we've been sharing. The living and let go. First things first.
First things first.
And for me, what is first thing? For me, the first thing is to keep away from the drink.
Yes.
That is very important. Bill, I know I'm not any different from the other Francis. I'm not any different. Now in my village, they call me Gobi. I'm not any different from the other Gobi.
Yes.
I'm not any different from the Xavier. Because I'm not any different from the comrade. I'm not any different from the Kadiba Kasempala. I'm not any different from the president of the Communist Party. Who I was. Those are the different names that I've used in different places.
Yes.
I'm not any different from the Butiko, because after sobriety, my first business was self-employment, hawking Butiko. So also some people named me Butiko. So I'm not any different from that guy.
Yes.
What makes the difference is that now I've kept the bottle away. The moment I touch that bottle, I know, and I've come to believe,
Finished.
if I'm petrol, alcohol is fire. If I'm fire, alcohol is petrol. And you cannot mix this press. You cannot mix this press. You put them in the same press and don't expect disaster.
Explosion.
Yes,
Iran,
obviously.
Israel.
So that's what has come to my mind. And I've learned I can't fight this battle alone. I need the higher power or the Holy Spirit instead of the high spirit that was helping me to overcome my troubles, my anxieties, my depression. By then I was using a corrupt manager, the high power. But now I have a manager who is not corrupt. The Holy Spirit, the higher power, who is God to me as a Christian.
Yes.
But I can't stop anybody having his ideology of a higher power.
Yes.
But the AA program that has helped me tells me a God of my understanding.
Yes.
And this is the God that has done a miracle for me, that is doing miracles for me, because I've seen miracles and I'm still seeing miracles happening.
Yes.
There are very many adjustments that are being done in employment here and there, now and here, but at least I'm not worried of them.
Yes.
Not because I have a surety of another employment somewhere, but I know the battle is not mine. There is somebody who can fight the battle, but I know I should not be passive.
Yes.
I've tested all fields when I was passive, when I was active alone on my power, when I followed Marx's theories, when I followed Friedrich Nietzsche's policies, when I followed Kant's policies, when I followed Fyodor's policies, they didn't work out for me.
Yes.
When I followed the most intelligent guys that you could think of, you know what I didn't know, what I didn't tell you, I specialized in African philosophy. One of the guys that I love most is Patrice Lumumba, this guy, the Kenyan.
Yes.
When he makes his speech, I like them. But I can't base on his speeches to live. I need now to make a way, but with the help of a higher power. Because for us, we are finite. I'm a finite being in this finite time, because I live in time. I need the power of the infinite that goes beyond the normal.
True. Yes, I always call you philosopher. You know, I was even forgetting that I'm interviewing you because I'm digesting. You know, this is such an intriguing story, and unfortunately, time is never enough. It will never be enough, because we're about to come to an end of this program. Unfortunately, there was too much engagement that the response that to the questions you are sending will come in. I'll try and find a way to communicate them probably during the course of the next show and during the week. So you can follow us on on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and X at Stream UG Radio. And our WhatsApp line is +256 767 864 228. 256 767 864 228. You can email us info@streamug radio. Very interesting.
Thank you.
Today we are having Xavier Gobi, and he's a very big help. He supports. I send him people to help in recovery, and we have fellowship together on weekends, because we have to keep ourselves growing strong. We need this. But you'll see for those who have been following us on this Mind Matters, for the last 6 shows we've had, the people who have recovered, all of us have had it in a different way.
Yes.
Chandiro went to rehab.
Yes.
I went to rehab. Chris went to rehab. You know Chris.
Yes.
Shadrach didn't go to rehab. For him, they prayed for him and he got the miracle you wanted.
Yes.
One of, I think he shook.
Passive.
But it was through God.
Yes.
We had Rebecca Macheli.
Yes.
She also didn't go to rehab. You know, she was alone in her home during the lockdown and she got a revelation from God and that changed her life.
Yeah.
She's also an author now. I think you guys should talk about writing books together since you're all writers.
Yeah.
She also got hers that way. You see, and then the last one we had, everybody has it differently.
Yeah.
Some go to treatment, some don't, some charge, and now we have you. For you, you have been through AA,
Yeah.
you have been through prison,
Yeah.
and AA has worked for you.
Yes.
So I would like to share with people out there that there is not only one way for recovery, but he has mentioned very, very important principles, which are number one, surrender. I want you to expand
First
on
is
surrender.
admitting. First is admitting.
Yes, admitting, and then
Yes. Admitting and accepting who you are.
yes,
You know, I had a problem with accepting that I was an alcoholic. And with that kind of pride, thinking that I know,
yes,
think I'm studied,
yes.
I'm this and this.
No
who
one
are you
can
to
tell you whatever.
Yes. Minimizing advisors from different people. And knowing that I could do it myself, like I've
Yes.
said, so I had the Bible quotations that I can use the Bible. I knew the Bible.
I mean, you have given me a Bible lesson today. I'm like, what?
Yeah, and even like I've said, that thinking that I can do it myself with the
Yes.
knowledge, what self-knowledge is not important. Self-knowledge is not important. Now surrendering. Surrendering, what comes with surrendering? Actually, when we read in John, like I'm going back to the Bible. John chapter 15. The whole of it is a very good thing because he says, I'm the tree and you are the branch. I'm the vine, you are the branches. And I've told you this so that your happiness may be fulfilled. Your joy actually does not talk about happiness. Your joy may be fulfilled in you. You find that my biggest problem was fear. And I thought the opposite of fear was courage. And I used to get false courage from alcohol. But I've come to learn that the opposite of fear is faith. And what is faith? According to my Catholic catechism that I had, it says faith is that which brings things into existence, those that don't exist, the substance of things that are hoped for.
Yes.
So what we hope for are brought into substance, into existence. And this is what really happens. When you read Philippians 4 verse 6, it says, be anxious, don't be anxious of anything, but with prayer and thanksgiving, present your requests to God.
Yes.
And knowing that I'm finite and is infinite, the Bible itself says, if you worry, why do you worry? Can you add anything, even an inch on yourself if you worry?
True.
There's nothing. So what was bringing my problem? Basically, fear, being dishonest, irritable, selfishness, irritable, restlessness, and discontented. And discontentment is a very big problem in everything that
there's
whenever
also greed and lust and anger.
Yes. So now what I've learned is to be contented. Knowing that I don't need to compete with Bill.
Yes.
Knowing that I don't need to compete with anybody else. I'm not gifted like Jackie in singing. I'm not gifted like you, Bill. I'm not gifted like Chris. But I have my own gifting.
Yeah.
And with my own gifting, I should compete with myself.
True.
Bettering myself. And how can I what's the best way of bettering myself? Now knowing, linking up, you see this electricity, you plug it in a socket to get electricity in the machines. So for me to remain, to stay connected,
plugged in,
to stay plugged in the higher power, which is God to me.
Yes.
And this is helping me. And how do I stay plugged in? It's doing what it is expected of me, required of me, and this is basically doing services.
Yes.
Surrendering, that means surrendering my interest for the interest of others. That's why I can come up now and open up. I know I've surprised many people, even my brothers and my sisters that have listened. I know one of my brothers, actually, even my mosaic could be online listening. Because there are many things that I've talked and they didn't know.
Yes.
They're saying, oh, kumbe, this is what happened. Yeah. But I'm doing this just because I know it is for the good of somebody else.
Somebody else. And people do heal.
Surrendering is becoming less of you or becoming less of myself for the greater of the other.
Of the other. That is, we call it service.
Yes, and it is also surrendering to God's will. Because
will of
what does he say? Or you remember in the Bible when it says, go and sell everything that you have and come and follow me.
Yes.
The young man, the youngish man says, nah, to hell with you. Cannot do that. Because for him, he says, love one another. How can you say you love God when you don't love your neighbor, the one you see? So it is in this service, in this love, that I've surrendered. I let him, I don't know his ways. They are amazed. They are amazed. Because there are things that I tell you, on my wedding, I saw people coming. I will not, anyway, I thank you two people, these two people, guys. They came at 8 a.m. and we left with them around midnight. So they were there for me. And these are people I don't have any relationship with.
Yes.
They're not my relatives. They don't know my childhood. But God brought them into my life. There is one guy, an American. He contributed for my wedding. And God can use anybody. As long as I say, when I declared at my church that I'm going to do my wedding, I'm going to wed, the church members were worried. I remember even my Muse told me that when you came and told me, I was like,
you're bringing more problem.
How are you going to do it? But God, so for me,
Yes.
I knew this is now knowing, having that serenity.
Yes.
Actually, this peace. I think I've answered surrendering, giving everything,
Yes.
giving my worries
True.
to God.
And you see, if we don't surrender, that's when we continue rationalizing everything, thinking we know, and yet you have to humble yourself.
Yes, sure.
Oh, Xavier, this has been very good. For those who have missed out on listening, go to my YouTube for now. This is where you'll find this at Bill Bekunda on YouTube. Just Bill Bekunda YouTube. www.streamugradio.com. To access this, you go to live.streamugradio.com. On Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and X, we are at StreamUG WhatsApp us on 256-767-864-228. You can email us at info@streamugradio.com. It's difficult to say bye. We still have a lot to talk about. But Xavier, when I call upon you another time, probably with other guests to talk more about recovery, we will do that.
It's my pleasure.
In less than a minute, please, what would you like to advise to other people who are suffering from alcoholism? And what could you tell them to help?
First of all, accepting is very, very, very difficult for people. But I'll begin with the relatives and the friends. Because most of us, it's really very hard for us to recognize that we have a problem, we have a sickness. But relatives and friends, you always see these people. Because I also came to know that people knew that I had a problem.
Yes.
When you see somebody drinking, when you see somebody's character changing, addiction is very tricky. And we are drama actors. We are very good at acting. We present ourselves.
manipulating.
Yes. Yeah. This alcohol itself is cunning, buffering, and powerful. When you see signs of somebody, he's less stressed, irritable, and discontented. At least you can first begin with advising themselves, consultation, from counselors, and let these people know that they have a problem. To my brothers, sisters who are suffering with this sickness, let's accept it. Let's look for help. Recovery is a personal